Another selection from Kahlil, Jesus, the Son of Man, his words and his deeds as told and recorded by those who knew him. Hannah of Bethsaida, the year 73. The sister of my father had left us in her youth to dwell in a hut beside her father's ancient vineyard. She lived alone, and the people of the countryside sought her in their maladies, and she healed them with green herbs and with roots and flowers dried in the sun. And they deemed her a seeress, but there were those who also called her witch and sorceress. One day my father said to me, "Take these loaves of wheaten bread to my sister, and take this jug of wine and this basket of raisins." And it was all put upon the back of a colt, and I followed the road until I reached the vineyard and the hut of my father's sister. And she was gladdened. Now as we sat together in the cool of the day, a man came by upon the road, and he greeted the sister of my father, saying, "Good even to you, and the blessing of the night be upon you." Then she rose up, and she stood as in awe before him and said, "Good even to you, master of all good spirits, and conqueror of all evil spirits." The man looked at her with tender eyes, and then he passed on by. But I laughed in my heart. Methought my father's sister was mad. But now I know that she was not mad. It was I who did not understand. She knew of my laughter, though it was hidden. And she spoke, but not in anger. She said, "Listen, my daughter, and hearken and keep my word in remembrance. The man who but now passed by, like the shadow of a bird flying between the sun and the earth, shall prevail against the Caesars and the empire of the Caesars. He shall wrestle with the crowned bull of Chaldea and the man-headed lion of Egypt, and he shall overcome them, and he shall rule the world. But this land that now he walks shall come to naught, and Jerusalem, which sits proudly upon the hill, shall drift away in smoke upon the wind of desolation." When she spoke thus, my laughter turned to stillness, and I was quiet. Then I said, "Who is this man, and of what country and tribe does he come? And how shall he conquer the great kings and the empire of the great kings?" And she answered, "He is one born here in this land, but we have conceived him in our longing from the beginning of years. He is of all tribes, and yet of none. He shall conquer by the word of his mouth and by the flame of his spirit." Then suddenly she rose and stood up like a pinnacle of rock, and she said, "May the angel of the Lord forgive me for pronouncing this word also. He shall be slain, and his youth shall be shrouded, and he shall be laid in silence beside the tongueless heart of the earth, and the maidens of Judea shall weep for him." Then she lifted her hand skyward and spoke again, and she said, "But he shall be slain only in the body. In the spirit he shall rise and go forth leading his host from this land where the sun is born, to the land where the sun is slain at eventide, and his name shall be first among men." She was an aged seeress when she said these things, and I was but a girl, a field unplowed, a stone not yet in a wall. But all that she beheld in the mirror of her mind has come to pass even in my day. Jesus of Nazareth rose from the dead and led men and women unto the people of the sunset. The city that yielded him to judgment was given unto destruction, and in the judgment hall where he was tried and sentenced, the owl hoots a dirge while the night weeps the dew of her heart upon the fallen marble. And I am an old woman, and the years bend me down. My people are no more, and my race is vanished. I saw him but once again after that day, and once again heard his voice. It was upon a hilltop when he was talking to his friends and followers. And now I am old and alone, yet his visits Yet still he visits my dreams. He comes like a white angel with pinions, and with his grace, he hushes my dread of darkness, and he uplifts me to dreams yet more distant. I am still a field, unplowed, a ripe fruit that would not fall. The most that I possess is the warmth of the sun, and the memory of that man. I know that among my people there shall not rise again king nor prophet nor priest, even as the sister of my father foretold. We shall pass with the flowing of the rivers, and we shall be nameless. But those who crossed him in midstream shall be remembered for crossing him in midstream.